Good morning, guys. I just want to give you this video going over last night's assignment. I know a few of you reached out to me and said you had some trouble on it. Um, I have my coffee, so hopefully I won't make any stupid mistakes in the video. Wait, let me take another sip. Okay, cool. So the first one I gave you for homework was the sign of 150. Okay, now I know you guys can just tell me the sign of 150 is 1/2, but I did want you to show it using the sum and difference, and I can make 150 by doing 90 plus 60. So the formula is the sine of 90, remember this is your A, this is your B, cosine 60, sine if it's plus it stays plus, and then it flips, cosine 90, sine 60. Well, the sine of 90 is 1. The cosine of 60 is 1/2. The cosine of 90 is 0, which it really doesn't matter what the sine of 60 is because whatever this is, it's going to be 0. It's radical 3 over 2. And so 0 times that is 0. 1/2 times that is 1. It's just 1/2. And yes, that was a long way to get to the answer, but I wanted you to try the problem. The second one, not so easy. Well, a little more challenging to figure out how to get 105. Okay, it's not like a 150, but I know I could take my reference of 60, add it to 45, and I have 105. Cosine of 60, that's my A, this is my B. Cosine 45, it's plus in the cosine formula, that means opposite. And then it's sine 60, sine 45. The cosine of 60 is 1/2. The cosine of 45 is radical 2 over 2 minus radical 3 over 2 times radical 2 over 2. And we'll make that mistake again. 2 times 2 is 4. Radical 2 over 4 minus radical 6 over 4. They are the same denominator, so I could put the numerators together. I just cannot combine them because they're not like terms. Okay, I really want to go over the next one. I think I need a bigger piece of paper. The tangent of 15. And I'm actually going to turn my paper horizontal. Okay. This is what I want to go over because as looking at some of your homework, you didn't follow your math rules. You got to remember, guys, just because we're not learning something doesn't mean it doesn't partake. Okay, just because I'm not talking about order of operations doesn't mean order of operations is not there. Just because I'm not talking about rationalizing denominators doesn't mean you're not supposed to. 15, it's 45 minus 30. So if I look at the tangent formula is tangent of 45, this is minus, so this is minus, tan of 30 over 1 plus, it's always the opposite side, and then you multiply the 2. Tan of 45, tan of 30. I'm not going to lie, I love writing with the Sharpie. Okay, so the tan of 45 is 1 minus the tan of 30 is radical 3 over 3 over, this is 1 plus 1 times radical 3 over 3. Okay, we're going to have to simplify this, guys. I'm going to have to combine my numerator. All right, this is 1 minus radical 3 over 3. What I can do, and I'm going to do it over here, okay, I'm going to change that 1 to 3 over 3, and equals 1, minus radical 3 over 3 over, and again, this is going to be 3 over 3 plus 1 times radical 3 over 3. Okay, now this becomes, again, same denominator, can't combine the numerators, so it's just going to be 3 minus radical 3 over 3 all over 3 plus radical 3 over 3. Guys, we've done this so many times. At this point, you should realize this is division. When we divide this fraction by that fraction, and I put them next to each other, I'm going to have to flip this one. Since I'm flipping it, this 3 is now in the numerator, which means they cancel out. When you have complex fractions like this, where the denominator is the same, they're going to cancel. And you're just going to be left with 3 minus the square root of 3 over 3 plus radical 3. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a radical in the denominator. Are we savages? No. Just because we're home doesn't mean we do not rationalize this. To rationalize this, you have to multiply it by my favorite, conjugate pairs. Oh, I miss you guys so much. Nobody gets my humor at home. Okay, so now I'm multiplying this. I'm going to, again, bring it down here because I'm running out of space. The numerator, I have to FOIL that. It's going to be 3 times 3 is 9. My outer and my inner is going to combine to be negative 6 radical 3. You could work it out. Trust me, that's what it is. Radical 3 times radical 3 is going to be positive 3. All over. Again, conjugate pairs. We don't have to FOIL. We just have to FLIR. So 3 times 3 is 9. Radical 3 times radical 3 is just 3. Who knew that when I started teaching this lesson, the hardest part would be doing the math? 9 plus 3 minus 6 radical 3 all over 9 minus 3 is 6. Okay, and then we could also reduce these. They're all divisible by 6, so the final answer is 2 minus radical 3. Okay, the easiest part was actually doing the trick. Look at all the math that had to go. And I didn't really see this on a lot of papers, so I just wanted to bring this to your attention, that you had to do that. Okay, I'm going to quickly go over the other ones, because I don't want my my video to get too long. So the next one was the sine of negative 210. Were you able to make the negative angle? The sine of negative 210, what I use, and again, there are a lot of different ones, is I did I didn't do 360. I did 150 minus 360. So the sine of 150 cosine 360, okay, minus cosine 150 sine 360. And again, 1/2. The cosine of this is 1 minus radical 3 over 2, but negative because 150 degrees is in this quadrant and cosine is negative in that quadrant. Not that it matters because the sine of 360 is 0 and this whole thing cancels out, leaving me just 150. Okay? If you think about it, a negative 210 degree angle means that you ended up in quadrant 1. I'm sorry, in quadrant 2, which would make it positive anyway. And yes, that's 1/2. Oh, thank you, Cameron, for noticing that I made a mistake yesterday. You were the first one to notice that. Okay, tangent of 23 pi over 12. All right, what I told you to do with this is not to sit there and try and figure this out. Just change this to degree. When I changed this to degree by multiplying it by 180 over pi, it worked out to be 345 degrees. So then I just did the tangent of 300 plus 45. This tangent wasn't that complicated. When I wrote it out, it was the tan 300 plus tan 45 over 1 minus tan 300 tan 45. Trying to do this quicker because if my video gets too long, they cut me off. Tangent of 300. Okay, tangent is in quadrant 300 rather is in quadrant 3, so it's negative. The reference angle is 60, so it's radical 3. Tangent of 45 is 1 over 1, and if I multiply those together, as I'm supposed to do here, a negative times a negative becomes a positive radical 3. Again, I'm going to have to rationalize it. I'm going to bring it here. I'm also going to rewrite the numerator. I don't like it written like that. Multiply it by the conjugate pair. My denominator is going to be 1 minus 3 which is -2. Okay, my numerator, when I FOIL that, works out to be 1 minus 2 radical 3 plus 3. This is going to be 4 minus 2 radical 3 over -2. So when I divide everything, it becomes -2 plus radical 3. Okay. Number 6 was fairly simple. It was sine 40, except I wrote it wrong, cosine 20. It should be plus. Okay, cosine 40, sine 20. So if it's plus and it starts with sine, it's a sine. And you just have to add those two together of 60, which is radical 3 over 2. And then the last one was cosine. Actually, I think I need another piece of paper. The whole last one, cosine of 5 pi over 12, cosine pi over 12, no, 4, I'm sorry. It was plus, so I know it's a minus. So I'm just going to subtract these two. It's going to be 5 pi over 12 minus pi over 4. I'm going to change this to a common denominator of 12 by multiplying it by 3. So it's just going to be now the cosine of 2 pi over 12. 2 pi over 12 reduces down to pi over 6, and the cosine of pi over 6 is radical 3 over 2. Okay, I'm getting to the end of this video. It only lets me do a 15-minute video. You guys have been doing such good work. Tonight I'm not actually sending you extra work to do. I just want you to check your homework, look over the mistakes, look over all the math that I did. And I'm actually going to send you a little math puzzle that I saw out of Reader's Digest. Okay, you don't have to do it. You don't have to hand it in. It's just something to keep your mind occupied today. Maybe you want to share it with your parents. Okay, I hope everybody is well. I miss you terribly. Send me any messages if you want, and I will have a lesson for you guys tomorrow. Enjoy today.